Learning any kind of gambit in chess can be one of the most frustrating things in the world. Usually, you see a YouTube video on how to play the gambit. A few of the main lines are explained, and then you go and try it for yourself in a real game. Then, when you actually play a game, not only do you have to wait until your opponent plays into the gambit, but half of the time they play a move that wasn't explained to you and you have no idea what to play. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going through exactly how I've been learning some fun gambits lately and how you can thoroughly learn them as opposed to just learning the trap lines. Also, if you guys have been wondering why I took such a long break from YouTube, it's because I've been working on my website for all of my coaching. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to support my channel, feel free to book a lesson with the link in the description below and use code FIRST to get a 25% discount off your first lesson. In saying that, today's video is also sponsored by chessreps.com, where we'll be learning all of the gambits. Not only can you guys do everything shown in this video with ChessReps free trial, but their paid version starts as low as $3 per month. This is absolutely insane value for money, especially considering it gives you access to all of the courses on ChessReps. Anyway, getting back to the video, because ChessReps isn't actually where we want to start our study. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best way to be learning your gambits, and then we're going to have a very special guest who I'll play 2 games against at the end of the video. So, wait until the example games to see my challenger. After we play our first game, they'll be using a ChessReps course to counter my opening, and we'll see how solid their play is once they know the refutation to my gambit. But the question is, if we don't start on chessreps.com, where do we start? The first thing we want to do when learning a new gambit is just watch a YouTube video on it. But the way we choose which video to watch is very important. Any video with a duration of 10 minutes simply cannot possibly fit the amount of content you'll need to adequately play your gambit. We won't want to memorize the moves from this video, but we want a human to explain the middle game and attacking ideas that come from the gambit. If the video is around 10 minutes long, the likelihood is a lot of variations have been excluded. Sometimes creators will purposely leave out more solid responses from your opponent to make the gambit seem more effective than it is. This results in the video being shorter because they're covering less lines. We absolutely need to understand the middle game ideas from the gambit we're playing if we don't have a material advantage. If you're also willing to put in an extra bit of time, watching real games played by masters that are playing with your gambit is a great way to understand the middle game ideas better. So let's take a generous 60 minutes off of our allocated time and start learning our gambit by watching some YouTube videos. Now we can start working on the ChessReps training course for our gambit of choice. It should be noted that ChessReps also does have a few opening repertoires on their website as well, which you can also use. But just because it obviously takes a lot longer to learn an opening than it does a gambit, we'll brush over it for now. I should also mention that under a single ChessReps subscription, you'll have access to every single one of their courses. For reference, a course on Chessable will cost at least $50 and another $100 if you want video training beside it too. That's just for one single course, whereas $3 will get you an entire repertoire of courses on ChessReps. Moving on though, we just want to work through our specific ChessReps course on our own. We also want to pay close attention to the coach on the side, which explains all the moves being played. I also highly recommend you click the cogwheel and enable all of the extra functions, like the evaluation bar. If you need, you can also bring the current position over to a Lichess analysis board, which is super important as well if you don't quite understand the position. ChessReps has a couple of modes. The first will be the Learn mode, which walks you through exactly what you'll need to be playing and explains why certain moves are optimal. Then you'll unlock Practice, which takes away all the hints and helps you memorize the moves very similarly to how Duolingo helps you remember a language. Then you unlock 2 secret modes, which we'll cover in just a second. Let's first go through one line together on ChessReps, and then I'll time-lapse the rest of my studying. We'll quickly go through the Learn section of the ChessReps Vienna Gambit course, and you can see on the side of the screen we have the coach over here, and it is saying to push our e-pawn 2 squares forward to the e4 square. It responds with e5, and now it's telling us to put our queen's knight to the c3 square. So we'll go ahead and do that, get into the Vienna game, and now it's going to play knight f6, and you can see here, it's saying, let's gambit our f-pawn by pushing it 2 squares forward. So let's do exactly that, and play the move f4. Once we get a little bit deeper into the opening, it gives more in-depth explanations to why we are playing certain moves. Black has taken our pawn, a huge mistake we will now exploit. Pushing our e-pawn forwards forces the knight back to its home square. If it goes anywhere else, it can be taken. So we'll push e5. I think you guys get the point of the learn section, so I'll quickly time-lapse the rest of my learning and we'll go from there. Now, once we've finished the learn section, we've just unlocked practice. We can also go through one of these lines together just to show you how it works. Once we've finished the learn section, we can go ahead and start the practice section, which is essentially the same thing, except you don't get any hints on the side of the board. You just have to remember exactly what you've just learned. So for example, we'll play e4 here, and it's going to tell you to continue the Vienna opening. So here we want to play knight c3. We know this because we studied it, and now it's saying, let's play the Vienna Gambit. So it's telling you things without really telling you the moves. So we're going to play f4 here, and it's going to play d3. And now it's going to say, what is the best move? So it's not going to tell you what the moves are. You do have to remember them. If you don't remember them, you can do the learn category again by clicking mode and going over to learn here. My face cam is a little bit in the way, but you can go ahead and click that button and redo the learn section, but we'll go into another time lapse and I'll finish this practice mode. Once you've finished the learn and practice modes, Chess Reps unlocks two secret modes, timed and drills. The drill mode is essentially a survival mode, where you need to get the highest streak of correct lines as you can. The timed mode is quite similar, except you need to get as many lines correct within a certain amount of time. Chess Reps also has some competitive leaderboards for this. Chess Reps also released a puzzle mode, which is super useful as well. It essentially grabs tactical positions within the middle games of your chosen gambit and allows you to solve them as puzzles. This works very similarly to Lichess puzzles, but all of it is conveniently in one place for you to work on all at once. You can utilize these features however you want in your training, but considering my training on Chess Reps is already complete, let's quickly move on to how we can continue our study of our gambit. Once we've memorized all of the opening moves in our gambit, we want to further expand our knowledge on the middle games that derive from it. When we use gambits, we have to accept the reality that not every game is going to result in a crushing attack. We need to be very familiar with middle games that commonly derive from our gambits. We've already looked at this a little bit with our introductory YouTube video, but we can also expand on this knowledge using Lichess's study feature. Firstly, we want to find a Lichess study focusing on the gambit we've chosen to learn. We explicitly don't want an interactive lesson, but just a study that has all the different lines ready for us to analyze. Now, for however long you feel is necessary, we just want to play with ourselves on the analysis board and look at why certain moves that we haven't covered in any of our training work or don't work. Understanding these niche lines is super important to our overall development and learning the gambit. We want to experiment in an analysis board and not real games. At no point should we find ourselves in a real game thinking, I wonder if this works. Let's try it. I spent around an hour looking at this Lichess study I found on the Vienna Gambit. You don't have to spend that exact amount of time, I just kept going until I felt comfortable with all of the ideas. Now that we've learnt the Vienna Gambit, it's time to put our study to the test. Usually in these kinds of videos, you'll see the creator place someone at least 1000 elo lower rated than themselves and prove the Gambit is crushing by beating them. Although sometimes the Gambit is really good and has a lot of traps, usually the games are just won because the creator is much more talented than the opponent. So today I did the exact opposite by challenging 2200 FIDE rated player and a good friend of mine, Witty Alien. In our first game, I'll ask Witty to play into the Vienna Gambit with 3 e takes f4. In our follow-up game, Witty will be using the Chess Reps recommendation against the Vienna Gambit, instead responding with 3 d5, and seeing how different the results are. So let's get stuck into the most important part of this video, and test if the Vienna Gambit actually works. So we are playing against the one and only Witty Alien. Thank you, Witty, for doing this video with me, and we'll play the Vienna Gambit, or at least start to play the Vienna Gambit with e4, e5, and let's bring the knight out with knight c3. This is the Vienna game, and after knight f3, now we can go into the Vienna Gambit and play the move f4. We need Witty to take on on f4 with the e pawn here, and now we want to push our pawn forwards once, and the knight is essentially forced to go back to the g8 square.
Your pawn, and now he pushes e5. Give me the pony, right? There's queen e7 pin to win. Has to be the only move, no? Otherwise, it's just way too nasty. I don't know where should I go. I can't go anywhere. I can go back on g8 though, which is the most natural move, or queen e7. Looks like the most natural move here.
Theory is to go queen e2 and unpin the pawn, forcing the knight back again. Again, the knight doesn't have anywhere to go. It can't go here, can't go any of these squares. So the knight has to go back to the g8 square, and then we just continue with the simple knight f3, defending our pawn. We can also go for d4, but I do know that knight f3 is the correct move, so he does go back, and let's continue here by playing knight f3. Now we've got two knights developed. We've got a pawn on e5. Black has nothing developed, and their queen is just sitting in front of their king.
I'm maybe gonna regret this whole game because of queen c6, pawn d4. It's already very bad. I think queen 7 was bad actually. I think I'm gonna go d6. Queen d5. Oh, I have to go. Oh, this is really bad. Go c6 though. I can go c6. I pawn e4. It's so difficult. I don't know what to play. It's very unnatural. Like, I don't have a really good move here.
If this bishop wants to develop, it's either going to have to be fianchettoed or it's going to have to try and contest this pawn in the center. So it is going to have a lot of difficulty, and we can always recapture in the center with a move like knight takes e5. So let's see what Woody comes up with here. We are playing a 5-minute game, so he does have plenty of time. He goes with c6. I am assuming that the idea is maybe to go for d5 and look to play or look to kind of force en passant on me. But if I play d4 and he plays d5, I'm not actually, required to en passant. I know technically it is forced, but I am really liking just the move d4 here. d4, maybe there is something like g5. But then maybe something like h4 is going to be really strong, and then after g4, we might have some knight g5. But I do like the move d4, so we're going to play that straight away.
Well, d5 here, I guess. Get some central squares after ampersand I take, and I take back on d6, protecting the f4 pawn, which is good to multi. Bishop g4 between twins coming. Or maybe the bishop is better placed on f5. Yeah, maybe on f5 is much better placed. Still, white enjoys space advantage there much better. I'm gonna put it on f5.
Pawn down. It's kind of one of the benefits of the Vienna Gambit is you're never really gambiting the pawn. So now we've got some options. We've got 30 extra seconds, and maybe want a long castle. Is there any way to play more aggressively? We could play something like bishop g5, but then f6 comes, and we're pinned to our king. I really want to keep the queens on the board here. I don't think there's any sacrifice here. I think we should just go ahead and castle in this position. We've also got moves like maybe h3 and going for g4. But I think just keeping it simple and castling here and not getting into a time scramble with Witty Alien, that might be the worst thing that we can do.
He castle bigs. Now I can just go pawn g7. I'll just develop my pieces. And maybe I can even start attacking here. Pawn b6, pawn c4.
We could sacrifice a pawn. It doesn't stop his castling though, because his king ends up on the c8 square. Maybe we go for h3, castles g4. And if the bishop goes back, maybe we have h4, h6, h5. I like this h3 idea. Ooh, okay. He's bringing the queen in like this. I don't really see this as a massive threat though, so let's just play g4. He hasn't castled long either. And then after g4, it maybe is just kind of an invitation, especially with that queen going off the e7 square. Maybe an invitation to just push our pawn up a square, and after takes, we have a check. Because the bishop is defending the c6 square right now, yeah, so he's going to have to go back there. We maybe do have a knight g5. Forcing the bishop off the board. I don't really love bishop g5. It does stop the castling, but there is just moves to stop it. So knight g5, let's say long castles. Not entirely convinced with any of this. Maybe we go queen d2 and just open up this this light squared bishop. Maybe that can also be something to look forward to. Here, castles, takes. Do we really have anything? I'm gonna go queen d2.
Bishop g2, rook hfa, queen b4. This is just not a good move, I think. Let's go queen b4, queen a5.
He's moved his queen to a5. Maybe I just need to speed up a little bit. Let's develop our bishop. I think maybe the idea is that he's going for, yeah, this bishop b4. If we play king b1, he can play takes, and we can take with our pawn, and maybe we shuffle our king over to a1. I think I do like that idea, because if he is going to castle long, that's going to be really nice for us. Now let's try and contest with the bishop. Apparently he mouse slipped b6. I don't think it's a huge mouse slip. It's something that he can probably recover from, but definitely not ideal for him. Alright, let's take, and I kind of like this this knight move, heading towards the e6 square. His knight has to come back. How can we continue all of this, is the question. I like bishop g3 and trying to open up this f-file. We need to be a little bit quicker here, though, because I am going down on time a little bit, and he does. He probably sees that I'm going down on the clock a little bit too much here.
Almost winning here, I think. Here. Okay, that was nice by him. Can I just take on c3? No, queen a3. Not winning this.
Oh, he's going for this checkmate here. Oh, I missed that. And that's just unstoppable mate. Wow, okay. I think we had a really good position out of the opening from this game, but unfortunately we definitely are going to lose here. I'll let him get the checkmate. And there we go, good game. I will quickly analyze the game. You'll see a cut to that. We'll do it after the two games, so we'll cut to the game review, and then we'll play another game versus Witty. We can start analyzing this first game that we played against Witty, and I should remind you that I am 300 elo lower rated than Witty, which is a pretty big skill gap, so I'm not surprised I lost this game at all, even though he did play a slightly dubious opening. But after e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, and f4, Witty took the Vienna Gambit, and now we can continue by kicking the knight away with e5. You can see in this position, the engine already evaluates white to be 0.6 better, and Witty immediately goes for one of the lines that Chess Reps says is wrong. Queen e7 is a mistake, and we kind of looked vaguely at this line on Chess Reps, because we can go queen e2 here, which is the correct theory, unpinning the pawn and forcing the knight to go back. The reason that queen e2 is a little bit worse than just going knight back to begin with is because the bishop is open in this line, whereas if you put the queen in front of it, the bishop cannot get out. So that's the main difference there. So after queen e7, we play queen e2, and now all of our ideas are the same. You might be wondering, why isn't this bad for us? Because we're blocking in our bishop as well, but the difference is we have two knights that are developed, whereas black has to move their knight back. So we're going to move our knight to f3. d4 is actually slightly better. The difference is very unnoticeable, though. They're about the same. But I did mention that in the video that d4 was an alternative. But knight f3 is something that I like, just developing another piece. And Witty immediately goes for this c6, which is something that I've not seen before. I think when you do play these gambits, there are going to be things that you have to pick up along the way. And especially in a 5-minute game, it wasn't really something that I was sure about how to punish. Knight e4 is the direct way to win, and it's why the engine gives such a high evaluation, because this square is just so weak. So, for example, if queen e7 is played or queen e6 is played, now you can go d4, and it's slightly better because you've got a more advanced knight in the position. You're ready to take, you're ready to castle, things like this. But instead of playing knight e4, I went with the very principled d4, which is still a good move, by the way. We're still winning in this position. And after d5, I went ahead with the best move and took the pawn on f4. In a position like this, we're still plus 1.3 because we got a big center. We've got 3 pieces activated, ready to castle, and black has absolutely no development, which is really good for us. They play bishop f5. In this position, I kind of get all the right ideas in this game, maybe in the wrong move order, because the top engine move right now is Queen D2, which we found a little bit later. But instead of playing Queen D2, we immediately castle. I think the engine doesn't love this so much, because it gives black the opportunity just to castle the same way. We maybe want to keep our king in the center and open up the possibility of castling this way. So maybe something to note for the future if we play something like Queen D2, and let's say black wants to develop a knight. Now we play Bishop D3, let's say we trade the bishops, and what's a move? Let's say maybe G6. Now we have the opportunity to castle both ways, and if we castle short, they don't really have the opportunity to castle short as well because they've got so many pieces in the way, and if they try to with something like Bishop G7, maybe we'll play Bishop G5. If something like this, we take, the knight takes, and suddenly our rooks are into the game. So you can see how that would all fall apart pretty quickly, just an oversight on my part. But instead of playing Queen D2, we go ahead and castle. We just commit ourselves to this side of the board. We are still winning, it's still +1, but we are playing some inaccuracies and letting some of this lead slip. So after H3, Queen B4 is a good move, G4, and Bishop E6. I was thinking my idea was Bishop G6, we would have something like E6, and after takes, we would be able to take with our queen, and this would be a very good position, and I was right, but Bishop E6 is obviously the better move, just blocking that from ever being a possibility. Now I go for this idea of Queen D2, trying to shuffle over and get the bishop into the game. I really would like to get this bishop on F5 and then takes and have a much bigger center. The right idea in a position like this, I think, was an idea that I mentioned of knight G5, just getting this knight into the game, threatening to take that light squared bishop off the board. If castles, you actually just want to keep it here, play A3, make the queen go back, let's say Queen A5, and we can even drop the bishop back to this square, threatening things like knight takes D5, which would have been the right way to go about it. But we play Queen D2, which is not bad by any means. We're still holding this advantage. And you can see, out of this opening, just by following the chess reps course, holding an advantage until move 12 against a 2400 rated player. And I'm pretty sure Woody's peaked at far beyond that rating. It's pretty good. I think you take this every day of the week, having this evaluation. Bishop D3 was my main mistake though. We needed to follow up. The engine thinks, what do we need to do here? We need to move the queen. Something like Queen D3, something like Queen F2. I'm not exactly sure why we need to do this. Let me just quickly tell. If H6, we want something like King B1, castles, and now what do we want? What is the significance? Maybe we want our knight to come back to D2 and reroute our knight this way. Okay, so we need to move our queen off the D2 square, just so our knight can be rerouted at some stage. We play Bishop D3 though. The advantage is still there, by the way. We've got a round pawn's advantage still. But after Bishop B4, we kind of keep letting it slip with King B1. See, playing all the right moves in the wrong order. B6 was a mouse slip by Witty. Knight H4 would have been a good move, just routing our knight back into the game over this way. But we play Bishop F5, Knight E7, takes. I thought I was winning a pawn here, and I missed this great defensive move of Knight F8. After Bishop G3, it all kind of falls out of our favor though. H6 can be played, Knight F3, Knight D7, we bring the rook. B5, this knight really gets in and causes some problems for us. I play Knight H4, Knight B6, Queen D3, and now after Knight C4, the idea is to take, and if White takes back with the pawn, Queen A3 is going to be checkmate. In this position, there is Knight E2, and the progress is kind of stopped. Maybe E3 is coming at some stage, maybe even just B3. If black long castles, for example, White is going to play a move like Rook F7 and just stack up the rooks and play on this side of the board. Sorry, Rook F7, not F2. And we're going to stack up on this side of the board, threaten a lot of things in this position, and White is going to be winning. But instead, we didn't go for that. We went for Knight G6, which is a blunder. After takes, of course, I didn't really want to take back and lose the knight. I took back with this pawn, not seeing that Queen A3 was a fantastic move. Just mate in 5, you have to sacrifice the queen for the knight, and I lose this game, but we do get a great position out of the opening, and that's kind of what I want to showcase. Even against an opponent like Witty Alien, we are going to get great positions out of the opening with a gambit like this if they do fall into it. So now let's get into the next game, where Witty Alien will be playing the main line and really testing our theory. So I've got our second game here, where Witty will be playing the main line of the Vienna Gambits. So let's go E4, Knight C3, F4, and he's going to play the main line now. So we can take, He should be taking on e4. He doesn't take on e4. Okay. So, trustworthy alien to kind of go against theory. I think he's going for this, this whole idea with, I'm not sure that works. I'm not sure that queen, H4 actually works. Does it work? I've not studied this. Trustworthy alien to get me out of theory really quickly with this. He's threatening to take this. Maybe I'll just take in the center. If I take in the center with my knights, I could also play... If I play bishop e2, knight takes... Knight takes... Maybe I'll play bishop e2. I like bishop e2 just going after this knight. Of course he wants to do that. There is this check again. Of course, if we play something like h3, we're going to get mated with this check. Maybe we could play d4. Check here. I like d4, just taking the center back.
Goes d4. Take c5. Nice move by Proto Jack. I like c5. Let's go c5. Let's go crazy.
If I take, I assume the idea is d4. If I take, what happens? Can I just take? If I take, yeah, if I take just takes here and here, I feel like I can just take. Takes, takes, takes. If he checks, I go there. Okay, he brings the, okay, that makes sense. Can I play bishop b5 here? And I think I play bishop b5 here. Pin the knights. He's probably gonna play bishop d7, takes. He can't really play pawn takes. Pawn takes, I feel, would be wrong. I would really love to get off. Ah, okay.
Forcing him to come back at least. Then bishop e6 maybe. No, bishop d7 is good. He needs to go back protect. If I take on b5, take.
And if I take, you take. And if I check, you come over. I take, you check, I come over. He's also got this knight f2. Wow, that's pretty rough.
He's not finding the only move. Oh, wait. He's thinking some here, and I flick d4 key. Here in queen d6. Oh, I'm losing. Bishop d2, take. Pawn c7, here. And queen d6 is mate. Bishop d2 is waiting for him. Finds it. Queen d6 is mate, right? So after this, I can have to go back. It was a very bad move by me.
Takes. Ooh, queen d2 is actually a saving move. Because this bishop is not hanging because we've got this check. Okay, it took me a long time to figure that out, but he can't actually take the bishop there. Oh, apparently bishop d2 was winning. Huh. Okay, I didn't see whatever Witty saw. We're gonna have to go over that in the analysis. But let's continue here, because I feel like after all of this, we just have, like, a decent position. Let's bring the rook over. Let's kick the knight out as well. The knight is looking a little bit stuck over here. Maybe he has to go back to h6, and now I do really have to be very careful with my time. I think I'll go back like this, and maybe we can castle long. I don't think he's going to trade queens. It's very anti-alien if he were to trade queens here. If he plays this, I'm very much consider. Okay. I'm trading queens here, and I'm gonna trade again. And then my idea is just to play king here. I have allowed that, but I get 2 pieces for the rook, and it's 2 bishops, which would be really nice. Now we've got to defend against this and not allow this check. Doesn't really have bishop d2, bishop e4. Let's continue to solidify. He wants to go around and grab this.
He didn't see the point. He should have challenged my rook on d8. And he was to transfer the bishop. Grammix typing. Bishop c8 move, that makes no sense. I need to keep a pair of rookies, so there's tactical choice. Main choice here.
Okay. Just try to wrap one of my knights into the game. We've forced a commitment on this side of the board, which is nice. I should have maybe gone for knight d4, which he has now kind of extinguished. Trying to go for this move. And I would really like to get my king over to some kind of safety on this side of the board, if possible. Okay, let's bring the rook back. This rook is looking a little bit trappable. It's not quite something we can do right now. Takes. I don't really like this. Oh, I forgot about that, actually. Okay. We've got a decent position, but just no time to really... Ah, that's the nail in the coffin, I think. He hasn't taken it. He's gonna offer me a draw. I'm not gonna take the draw just for the sake of the video. We're gonna play on. Oh my god, and he's absolutely punishing me for not taking the draw there, isn't he? This knight has nowhere to go. Okay, let's go here. Oh my god, that's pinned! Wow. I've been very much dismantled in this game. We'll continue trying and pushing, but I'll let him get the checkmate on the board. But I think we'll review both games, of course, and we'll see which position we kind of, or which game we got better positions in based on the theory that chess reps recommended to us. So we have this second game against Witty where he plays the main line with e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, f4, and d5. And trust Witty Alien to get me out of theory extremely early and really test this chess reps course because he played, or after f takes e, he played knight g4, which is a bad move, but it's very Witty Alien-esque to play a bad move and then prove that it's actually not bad. And this is bad because you can play the move d4, and after takes, white just has a big center, and this knight doesn't really know what it's doing. I didn't really think that immediately. I thought I had something better in this position. Clearly not. I had a small misunderstanding for the position, and to be fair, Witty didn't see it either. It was a blitz game. I thought that bishop e2 was the right idea. I thought I was just attacking this twice, and that he had to move it or protect it. Turns out that he doesn't really have to protect it. For example, if he can play d4, which is one of the ideas, but he can also play something like this, and if I take, he's got queen h4 check, picking the bishop back up. So it was never really a free piece, which I didn't see at the time, but neither did Witty. He played the move h5 and didn't really call my bluff at all. And then I found d4. So we do get back around to it, and we do find d4. And by the way, refuting the refutation to the Vienna Gambit is included in the chess reps course, so I did know the kind of main ideas to play against this d4 setup. So I do know that you're supposed to reinforce the center. Castling long is a big thing in this opening, so I was aware of that as well. c5 was the next move from Witty. but I thought it was kind of a weird move. I thought that I could just take on d5, which you completely can. If takes, you're going to take here. And this is where it gets really tricky because Witty plays this knight c6 move, and then I play bishop b5. If I had a little bit more time to calculate Witty's next move, by the way, this move is no good because of the move that I saw, which was bishop d7, and I thought, okay, if takes, and you take like this, I didn't think this was that good, and I really didn't think this was any good because I thought it just lets me off the hook, knight f3, and I'm kind of thriving in this position. Witty wanted to go for something better though. He saw queen a5, and I missed a very important move. I thought in all of these lines, my queen would be hanging. I thought, okay, if I bring my knight back, I feel like I'm losing because there's going to be queen takes. Maybe I'm not. Queen takes, knight here, check, here, takes, check, here, takes. And I thought at the end of all these lines, knight f2 was going to be a very big problem. I guess you can go king e2 to stop that. But I didn't like those lines at all, so I kind of wanted to figure something else out. The correct move is bishop d7. At the last moment, I kind of saw that this knight c7 check was a thing, and this bishop was never hanging. And I didn't really combine the two ideas that I didn't have to block with my queen. I could have blocked with this. So I did block with my queen, but the right idea is to play bishop d2. And after the queen goes back to d8, you actually want to attack the queen like this. If they come back and check, we don't really mind. We play b4 here, which is quite nice. Of course, you can't really take anything. We've got checks. We've got this checkmate coming. So like if you take... oh, sorry, this piece is pinned anyway. But if you take like this or something, we're going to take with the queen, which is actually really cool. And after they take like this, we're going to take back. They still can't take back because they're pinned by the bishop. So a lot of really kind of complex lines there. If you tried to kind of... Actually, is there any other way out of this? Not really. I mean, you could theoretically try and go for this, but long castles or something is just going to be very strong for white. And this is obviously a very good position. But I didn't see any of that. I played queen d2, still a better position for the white pieces. But I kind of prioritized just natural kind of safe moves over these fancy ones. Bishop c5 I thought was a good move, stopping me from castling. I thought that h6 might be a good move. I didn't play it right now, but I definitely did play it later. Sorry, h3. I played rook f1 just to make sure that nothing landed on this f2 square. I didn't want to lose castling rights. I still had the intention of castling long at some point. Bishop e6 I thought was a good move. Now we play h3, kicking this knight away. Danger levels with a6, takes. Maybe I should have considered taking here, but I thought that bringing my knight back first was a bigger priority. Knight e3 was played, takes, and takes on e3. I thought that, okay, if they take here and this plays, I'm going to play, or if bishop c4, I'm just going to take here, and after takes, I've got two knights for a rook, and I have a big center, and I have a majority, and I felt like I was definitely winning in this position. So I thought that that wasn't a worry. He does take, and after king e2, he brings the bishop back. I play b3 to stop this check. He plays a5, I play a4, just kind of, I don't really want him to undermine my structure. I know Witty loves to do that in playing a4 and getting just all of the diagonals open, and I didn't want him to do that, so I played a4. He brings his bishop back to try and get this, so I play rook fd1, so if he checks, I can just drop down. He does check, king e1 is a good move though, we're still winning in this position. King e7 is played, takes, rook d1. I'm thinking, okay, if I can trade off all the pieces and just leave it two knights against two bishops, with my pawn advantage, I can probably convert this. But as we can see, my clock was just a little bit too low, 52 seconds. I start kind of maneuvering around with my knights. Rook b4 is played, rook d6, and at the end of the day, I just kind of don't have enough time. We're already down to 39 seconds. The advantage is kind of diminishing, and I can't really figure out a way to get my knights into the game. Knight a2 was a very bad move. We've only got 30 seconds left here. And then in the time pressure, was there a move that I could have played? King d1? Oh, king d1. Yeah, okay. King d1. And this is still defended, but I went king e2 and blundered this skewer. And at this point, Witty offers me a draw, but I don't want to get a free draw from Witty. This is pieces pinned as well. And kind of all the pieces start falling off the board. But I think the main thing to kind of know these kind of positions is that we did, or these kind of games, is that we did have great positions out of the opening, regardless of what our opponent played. We didn't even play perfectly, but we knew the key themes and the key ideas coming out of the opening, and we got good positions because of them. Knight g4 was not the correct not the correct line for Witty to play, and once we got d4 on the board, we had a +2 position out of the opening. And when we go back to this game, the first game that we played, we can see that after queen e7, we played queen e2, and we had a very good position out of the opening. Could have even been a lot better if we found this knight e4 move, but d4 was good enough, and we do get a better position out of the opening. Of course, in any kind of middle game and end game, I'm going to be crushed by the modern-day Mikhail Tal, Witty Alien. He is very easily going to beat me 100 times out of 100, but we did get really good positions out of the opening, and that's what matters in this video. Are we getting good positions out of the opening because of the study plan that we set out? Yes. I hope you all enjoyed today's video on how to learn chess gambits as quickly as possible, and there's at least one takeaway from this video for all of you. A big thank you to Chess Reps for sponsoring today's video. If it weren't for my sponsors and for you guys supporting the channel, none of this would be possible. So if you did like Chess Reps in this video, feel free to go give them a try with the free trial at the top of the description. Other than that, let me know in the comments below what else you'd like to see on this channel. I'll be uploading twice a week from here on out, so there'll be plenty of content to go around. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next one.